want to follow us, for example, you can do so on this, or the Twitter handle is called Rundfunk MB. We are on the web. This is our URL. We'll come to that later. And if you're a developer and you want to check out the source code, this is our GitHub link. So we develop free and open source software. Okay, let me give you a quick overview what this has to do with Open Tech and with this Open Tech Summit. So this talk is about public broadcasting. So I will first talk about what public broadcasting has to do with openness, and also define the problem regarding that. And later on, I will show you how we want to solve this problem with technology. And after that, I would like to sum it up. And summit also means people gathering together, people talking to each other. So I would love to hear feedback about this tool we are developing. So let me just ask you, who's actually paying public broadcasting fees, Rundfunkbeitrag, here in this audience? Just raise your hand. So I see a lot of hands, and this is no surprise because everybody has to, or at least everybody who's living in Germany, with a few exceptions. So everybody of you has to pay €17.50 every month. What do you think? How much is that in total? How much does Germany spend for public broadcasting every year? Just shout to me, like give me a quick answer. Random guess? 100 millions. Okay, another guess. That's a little bit too few money. So I give you the answer. It's actually 8 billion euros every year. It's quite a lot of money. And my last question to you is, why do we have to pay it after all? I mean, normally you're not forced to pay it, right? So what do you think was the purpose of it? What's the point? Neutrality, yes, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah, I mean, so what's that? So, situation like in the US, where we have 6 big media corporations that kind of determine our information diet. And yeah, many people are pretty upset since 2013 because we have a new regulation that everybody has to pay it, right? And I think people guess that there are 2 million accounts out there who still refuse to pay, even though it's technically illegal. There were numerous constitutional complaints, I think 30 since 2013. None of them were successful. And yeah, many people are very angry about it. And yeah, there's this slogan, I think, from the American Revolution, no taxation without representation. And we thought ourselves, well, if we are forced to pay, why we don't get a say? And even though this is quite negative, there's also some very positive in it. And I want to show it to you. This is actually a win-win situation. Why? We have 2 parties. We have the party of you and me, like the payers, who are the citizen, let's say, but we also have the broadcasters. And even though you don't expect that, these 2 groups want to talk with each other. And let me quickly explain what I mean. The payers have no participation at all, and the broadcasters, on the other hand, have no data. They have no clue what the people would actually like, what they think is valuable, what they think is good quality. So actually, these 2 groups, they want to talk to each other. And I mean, the idea is simple. Let's just publish our interests, and the broadcasters could then evaluate their program based on that information, right? In order to produce better content. So here comes the reason why we are at the Open Tech Summit. We want to tackle this problem with technology. We want to bridge this gap with technology, and I will show you how this works. So as I already mentioned, we have this prototype. It's already online. It's on the internet, and I will quickly give a live demo. So if you... If you would visit this site, then you would... I will just keep my hand on the left side. So if you would visit this site, you will see a big blue button and saying participate now. And if you click on that, you will already get a selection of broadcasts. Now it's basically randomly selected. It's randomly selected, and I can quickly say whether I want to pay for it or not. It goes pretty fast. So I would, for example, say yes, why not? I like that as well. I don't know that. So next could also mean I have no idea what this is about. Could you give me some recommendations, maybe? So should I say next? Next. Next. Oh God. What do you think? Support. And now? Last before, it's not. Support? Johannes Bekerner. So I mean, that was fairly quick. That was 10 broadcasts in total. So this goes very, very quick. I mean, people are as quick as I am right now. And now I can, for example, publish my interest. I will just give my email, and then I get a link in order to log in. Do I get a link? It's all live. It's a live demo. Let's see. Yes, there we are. And this is just a login link. Okay. So I did that before, and as you can see here, this is my list of selected broadcasts. And this is more than 10 broadcasts because I was doing this quite some time. And whoops, I have a budget of €17.50 every month, and I can distribute this among my broadcasts. If I want, I can change this. So I don't know, maybe that one. I would say, okay, this gets 10 cents, and the rest then will be updated accordingly. All the other amounts are distributed evenly. Now, this is all the user has to do, right? And many people do that, and if many people do this, we can generate a big statistics table based on it, and this is this one here. So here we can see the 10 broadcasts ordered by the total amount. And it is actually no surprise, okay, Tagesschau is number one, but if you look closer to it, you can also see, for example, Sendung mit der Maus, Die Anstalt, Weltspiegel. So this is investigative journalism. Children's broadcasts are very popular. And this is not something that you would expect if you think of ordinary TV ratings, right? So we think there's a big difference in if you let people decide consciously and if they just use a remote control. I will also quickly explain what the columns are about. So this is how many times was this broadcast presented to users, how many people actually clicked on support. This is from the supporters who want to support it, how much money do they give on average. This is pretty easy. So I think a week before we developed or we deployed this visualization here. So this is the same thing, just grouped by station. So this is all the amounts that belong to this TV station. The black bar is only for comparison. Stations have a different number of broadcasts, so the more broadcasts there are in the database, the longer the black bar is. It's just for comparison. So if the blue bar is longer than the black one, that's actually good. And you can see here that, for example, Arte and Dreisat are performing very well, which is also surprising because especially those TV stations have bad TV ratings. Okay, let's get back to our presentation. This is not the only thing we want to do. So this is open source and we're currently developing it, but we also want to visualize this data in many details. Let's say we would know where the users are living. We could then, for every broadcast, see in which area of Germany this broadcast receives the biggest support. We can also see changes over time. When did a broadcast receive a lot of support, or when did people change their opinion? And since we have user accounts who select broadcasts together, we can also define a similarity among them. So if two broadcasts are selected very often by the same people, that could mean this broadcast is more similar. So we have relationships, and that's what you can see in the lower right. Yeah, and we talked to people already. So 2 weeks ago, we were at an event at the Heinrich Böll Stiftung, and they had a big group discussion on the stage. And these 3 people were among those, and they actually responded to Rundfunk MITBESTIMMEN. So Tabea Rösner, she's a member of the Green Party and also a member of the Parliament. Christoph Bieber is a member of a broadcasting committee called Rundfunkrat, and Carola Wille is actually the head of ARD, the biggest broadcaster in Germany. And let's see what they have to tell us.
Ja, aber ich würde anknüpfen an den Fragen, die wir jetzt auch mehrfach gehört haben aus dem Publikum, die eben die Finanzierung von Öffentlichkeit betreffen. Und ich glaube, da müssen wir auch wieder durchaus ins Experiment und ins Risiko gehen. Rundfunk mitbestimmen als Beispiel orientiert sich ja so ein bisschen an den Beteiligungshaushalten, was wir auf kommunaler Ebene kennen. Das weist, glaube ich, schon in eine richtige Richtung. Also darüber, über ein solches Werkzeug anzuzeigen, wo eine Nachfrage besteht oder wo vielleicht eben auch eine Idee von Verteilungsansatz entsteht. Der muss aber dann irgendwie sinnvoll und ordentlich in die Sender hineingetragen werden. Und diese Schnittstellen, die werden sich ausbilden müssen.
Dass man, da wisst ihr genau, dass man gucken kann, das ist ja auch für Außenstehende interessant, wo gibt es denn viel Zustimmung oder wie ist eine Bewertung, das ist ja im Grunde eine Bewertung auch von dem, was die Öffentlich-Rechtlichen machen und vielleicht gucken ja die Anstalten dann auch mal da drauf. Das wäre jedenfalls wünschenswert.
Ich versuche es mir praktisch vorzustellen, die Idee in der Umsetzung. Der Grundgedanke, der dahinter liegt, ist ja, dass in jeder Region unseres Landes und für jeden Bürger kontinuierlich sichergestellt sein soll, dass eine fundierte Meinungsbildung ihm ermöglicht wird. Und dass er über die Vielfalt des Geschehens, über die Vielfalt der Meinungen informiert wird, auf den unterschiedlichsten, über Information, Bildung, Kultur, Unterhaltung. Wenn die Bürger selbst entscheiden, da kann man natürlich starke Aktionen in Nordrhein-Westfalen, was passiert in Baden-Württemberg, ich versuche es mir gerade konkret vorzustellen. Ja, also wie funktioniert das? Ich glaube, der wichtige Gedanke ist ja, dass wirklich jeder Bürger in diesem Land die Chance hat, ein Informationsangebot zu bekommen, das jederzeit und das für Qualität steht.
Yeah, I think Carola Wille just hits the nail on the top. We need free access to information, and that's what public broadcasting is about. I want to give you a quick summary of what kind of data they currently have. So, as I already mentioned, they have TV and radio ratings, and I will just explain how this data is created. We have 2 companies, GfK and AGMA. And GfK produces the TV ratings. They have a group of 5,000 homes in Germany, and they equip them with a special TV box so they can track which broadcast they actually watch. And then they extrapolate it on the entire population. The radio surveys, on the other hand, are created in a totally different way. It's phone surveys. So they, over the course of the entire year, they call people on the phone and ask them, what did you listen to yesterday? And in contrast to the TV ratings, these ratings are actually public, so let's have a look at them. There's this website reichweiten.de. You can check it out on your own. I just want to give you one information maybe. So the entire population for them is 72 million people. That's the people above the age of 10. As you can see... Oh, too bad. As you can see here. So they, for example, say, which I think is quite surprising, 56 million out of 72 million tell or say that they listened to the radio the last day, which is kind of surprising. So I don't know many people who listen to the radio still. But however, I mean, you can have a look at it. I just want to show this website to you. It's publicly available, which is great. And I just want to mention that numbers are powerful. This has a great impact. If you, for example, attend one of those broadcasting committees, which are called Rundfunkräte, there's a very frequent discussion. One member raises his hand and says, why was broadcast X and Y taken off the air? And then the manager will then say, well, the TV ratings were so bad, right? And On the other hand, we learned that, for example, Radio 1 changes the content when the radio surveys are on. So they call it friendly takeover, freundliche Übernahme. They invite a lot of famous musicians just in order to produce something memorable. So people on the phone will then say, I listened to Radio 1 last day. So these numbers are really powerful, and yet there's no usage data. And here's another problem. These ratings are just made to sell advertisements. There are no proof of quality. They don't care about it. The only thing they care about is if we have somebody who wants to make an advertisement, what's the best slot in order to reach the most people. So I want to finish with this quote by this famous economist. Tell me how you measure me, and I will tell you how we behave. And I want to ask you now, in particular, how should public broadcasting behave? What do we define as good quality? How do we want public broadcasting to be? And given we agree on that, what would be a good measurement in order to achieve our goal? Okay, so this is it. I would like to start discussion maybe. So thank you so much for your attention so far. Here are our contact details, and I would really appreciate your feedback now.
Okay, so I think we have time for a question here. So if you would like to have a question, there's a microphone here in front. Yeah, please feel free to ask a question. But you're also available here the whole day around. Yeah. Are there any questions? Yeah. Go ahead.
So you mentioned that the results show that many people would actually prefer a different program compared to what the companies looking at the ratings would suggest. I think that this might also hint at just a different group. So the people participating in your survey, so to say, probably belong to a different group of people than the majority of the TV viewers who might be, I don't know, age 50 plus.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, you're right. I mean, we hear that a lot of times, the so-called selection bias. So thank you very much for your feedback. And obviously, we cannot ensure that we really have a representative group, right? We are building this, and we encourage you to check out our website and publish your data. This website is no worth if we don't get data from you guys. So we cannot prove that the data is really different because, as you said, maybe this is just a group of people. But at some point, we will hopefully can prove that it is really different if people consciously decide regarding or in comparison to a vote via the remote control. We'll see. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. I think we all